Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Mind My Mind talk show yet again. Today, we are trying to do something around the World Autism Awareness Day because the theme for this year is transforming the narrative, contributions at home, at work, in the arts, and in policy making. In the Mind My Mind ecosystem, the one thing that we can at least contribute in is bringing awareness about autism and about how one can deal with it. I think if we are able to do that, that itself will be a great value add, not only to the society, but to each and every parent, each and every child who suffers from this disorder. So today we have with us Ms. Neha Taparia, the founder of Skanda. She's been with us earlier in other talks. As you all would know, she's a mindful parenting coach and also works on emotional empowerment with children. And she's been doing that for many, many years. Welcome, Neha ji. It is a pleasure to have you here again talking about mindful parenting for autism and how to deal with children suffering from autism. Thanks for being here. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Gurrit, for having me here. It was a pleasure last time, and it's a pleasure now to be here. And I am so overwhelmed to be talking about something that I have been observing and trying to inculcate and trying to bring an awareness in parents to deal with this stressful situation for years. And so yeah, let's go ahead with this. And the theme for this year is also very amazing because it is something to talk about how at work, at home, at parents in general are dealing with the situation and how they can transform the situation and bring more awareness and more accepting and be more accepting of this entire, so talked about disorder, which is actually just a difference in wiring in the brain. Yeah.
So well put. There are many examples of great personalities who are autistic. And that gives us a lot of hope that with the right kind of interventions, right kind of support, as well as parenting, of course, because that's any child's first level of support, the child can do just about anything. Right?
Exactly.
So, Nehaji, the first question would be, how does autism affect parenting?
So to start with this, I'll just give you a brief, introduction to what is autism. Basically, there is a lot of definition, there's a description that is there in books, on Google, everywhere, on different websites. But to talk about it, just imagine you don't know a country's language, for example, French, and you are left in France, in one of the remotest, villages of France, where you don't know what are you talking about and what other people are expecting out of you and what are you going to say, and you just go your way and you don't listen to anybody and just try to do it with actions or just try to express yourself or just be yourself there. That in simple terms is autism. When it's a developmental disorder, yes, it's an impairment in communication, in interaction, in speech. It's a entire shutdown of probably nervous system, probably an entire shutdown of nervous system. I'm sorry. But it is not like you cannot survive or you cannot interact with people. You do, but you're in your own way, with your own language, with your own expression. And that is autism. And it is important, the first caregivers, that are the parents or whoever is available at home, to understand that it is nothing but it's just a difference in the wiring of the brain, right? And when it comes to parenting, of course, being parent to children who are doing academically very well, who are good at communication, who are excellent and everything is in itself stressful. Imagine having an autistic child around and having to deal with each of their work, having to deal with each of their life skill, having to deal with each of their household skill, it can be so difficult to dress them up even when they are young adults, or to dress them up, or to take care of their working, or to take care of their interaction even at the age of 5 and even at the age of 15. It can be definitely, it is very stressful for parents, for sure. But the accepting behavior, the mindful accepting behavior is what they expect parents to be. Now, when it comes to parenting, first of all, the don'ts of parenting in autism is don't be guilty. Don't be guilty that you have an autistic child around. They are a special gift as well. Be it autism, be it Down syndrome, or be it Prader-Willi syndrome, or anything. You are blessed to have a child first thing, because many people are facing a difficulty in having a child themselves, right? So you are blessed to have a child. And if you give your time mindfully, if you give that just 20% extra what you're doing or what you would do with a child who is excellent, your child will be wondrous. Your child will do amazing things. They can be good in art, they can be good in singing, or they can be, if they are able to communicate, or they can be good in a lot of ways to be able to, if given the right guidance. Just put in extra effort, educate yourself by equipping yourself with a lot of, maybe courses, or interacting with peer support, parents who are already dealing with autistic children. Get some guidance, okay? And don't be guilty. Take some time out for yourself as well. That is also very, very important, because you yourself are inducing that. You yourself are being stressful, and you, by thinking so much, you also induce that stress in yourself. Of course, it is easy to sit here and say that, do this, do that. When you're actually in the situation, I have seen parents. It is easy for me to say, okay, do this at home. This is your home plan or anything like that. But actually, when they go and implement it, it can be very tedious for them, because in autism also there are multiple things that can happen. Maybe it is paired with ADHD. Maybe it is paired with just lack of communication that the child is not able to express at all. And it gets really frustrating for parents. Ma'am, you said this, but when we are trying to do, the child is not able to. So,
is there a high possibility of these being paired with other disorders?
Yes, usually what comes out is with the learning disabilities, with the learning impairments, like maybe dyslexia or dysgraphia. That's why there is no rules of academics on autistic children unless they are gifted, and parents. It's good that parents recognize, okay, the child might be really good at math, the child might be really good at science, nature science, or anything like that. And ADHD, the most common that goes is either hyperactivity or the dullness. And also probably there is attention deficiency, because the child is not ready to interact socially. So attention deficiency comes that way. There's a lot of repetitive behavior in autistic children. So they might not sit in one place, they might run around. And it can be paired with hyperactivity and autism, right? So there is a possibility that it comes up. It is then again measured on the spectrum. How is it borderline, or is it high? The severity.
So, yeah. Could you throw some lights on the do's as well? We spoke about the don'ts, don't be guilty. And you spoke about a lot of do's, but practically, how when as a parent do you realize that my child is autistic? And some practical tips on what would be the next steps when somebody tells you to, you need to probably see a psychologist to screen your child. What would be the next step?
Yeah,
because most
so the first thing,
that is
the most important,
acceptance issues start, because each
right,
one wants and feels and thinks that our child is the best.
Yes, absolutely.
As well.
Because it's a competitive world. To be very honest, everywhere we are looking, we feel that our child is angel, right? Our child is perfect. We will not accept that there is something wrong. Before others tell you at school, teachers tell you, we have observed this, or other people around you tell you that there is something wrong with this child or anything like that. See, the first thing that when we see, what do we start teaching a child? First thing, Papa Polo, Mama Polo, and the child is not responding. And it happens in autism where the child is not ready to communicate. The interaction is slow. So there is a delay in speech. Because it's a developmental disorder, there are delays in the milestones. So you have to be very aware of the milestones. You go to any pediatric clinic, you will see there are milestones mentioned. When your child needs to achieve crawling, when your child needs to achieve sitting or anything like that. And if you feel that there is a delay there, then that's the early screening. Talk to your pediatrician. Talk to the specialists in the field. And if you feel when the child is growing, the child is talking but not seeing eye to eye, there is lack of eye interaction. Autistic children usually don't give an eye interaction, or they don't sustain it. Even if they are giving for 10 seconds or maybe a few fraction of seconds, they don't sustain it. They move their eyes away. So that is one. Communication and eye interaction and repetitive behavior that they are displaying. Probably they are observing fan and they are rotating their head, or probably doing something with their hands that is fidgety, right? So these are the signs, and developmental delays is very important to understand. As parents, every parent who are getting on this journey would be parents. They should know what are the milestones to be achieved. जो हमारे दादी नानी बोलते थे कि अरे गर्दन संभल रहे हैं, गर्दन संभालना है अब, yeah, probably you have to sit at this age, or probably the child will start crawling.
Crawling, yeah.
Right. It is because that is how it has been going on. Just observe, okay, it's been 2 years, 2.5 years, my child has not uttered a word. Then there is something wrong. Then you have to, or the way the child is demanding things out of you. Is the child throwing tantrums because you're not able to understand what the child is saying? The reception is not there because the child is not able to express when probably the child wants to pee or anything like that till when there is toilet training time. So that is like, okay, you need to get your head straight as a parent and go and seek professional help. See your pediatrician first, because they are the immediate, that's the community, that's the immediate reach.
And support. Right.
Developmental pediatrician, yes. Right. And seek, and via them, go and seek expert advice, see facilitation. Maybe your child will need OT, speech, everything. Of course, you will have to recognize and get it screened properly. Go to developmental centers.
कौन करेगा नेहा जी?
Usually developmental pediatricians करते हैं. Developmental pediatricians as well, and child clinical psychologists as well. Yeah. They do screening for special ed learning के लिए भी होता है. And then for your OT also there is a screening that happens. Speech कितना delayed है, there is a screening. So basically to see what is the spectrum of autism and what are the interventions to be taken, what is the home support that is supposed to be taken. So the do's is first accept and recognize that there is something. Then go seek out for support, right? Seek for support and take action. Don't delay ki probably 5 years hai, the child will start talking. I will see after 5 years of age, or I will see after 10 years of age. Before it is too late and the child starts to feel lack of self-esteem in school, there is no, basically the establishment of self-esteem also takes place in autistic children because they don't have a very high self-awareness process that happens, right? But emotional stunting bhi rehta hai, where they are emotionally not able to express themselves.
Okay. So very beautifully you have put across some points, नेहा जी, कि टाइमली ट्रीटमेंट जरूरी है, और वो इसलिए जरूरी है क्योंकि अगर आप डिले कर दोगे तो आप बच्चे को सपोर्ट नहीं कर पाओगे, एंड अदर प्रॉब्लम्स जो साथ में होंगी वो और बढ़ती चली जाएंगी.
Exactly. So बढ़ती जाएगी, सोशली बढ़ेगी. Because then socially, when the child is entering the world in school or anything, the other children, other people might look down on the child. And the child is not able to respond. Then arises the case of bullying, ki social aloof, introversion, socially aloof kiya jata hai, and everything. That plays
loop mein pad jata hai.
Exactly. Yeah.
सो बाय व्हाट एज पेरेंट्स को पता चल जाता है कि बच्चा ऑटिस्टिक है?
So basically स्क्रीन तो मोस्टली जो इनिशियली होती है दैट इज थ्रू ऑब्जर्वेशन कि चलो ठीक है देयर आर रिपीटेटिव बिहेवियर्स, देयर इज अ स्पीच डिले, or there is probably a lack of social interaction, or emotionally the child is not able to express anything like that. But take care of the developmental milestones, physical developmental milestones.
तो कई
That is
तो जितनी जल्दी हो जाए बेटर है.
better.
एवरी पेरेंट शुड बी वेरी वेरी हाई ऑन द ऑब्जर्वेशन.
Right, right.
इस तरीके से बच्चा बढ़ता जाए. प्लीज फॉलो द एडवाइस टेकन बाय psychologists in helping and training the child to achieve
Right.
milestones or find coping skills, create coping skills around that ताकि बच्चा कोप कर पाए.
Exactly.
जो लैग्स
Yes.
हैं बच्चे में बिकॉज ऑफ दिस डिसऑर्डर उसके साथ कोप कर पाए. बहुत
Right. Right.
यही आई थिंक एक्सेप्टेंस सबसे जरूरी चीज है. उसके साथ आपने और बहुत सुंदर चीज बोली, डोंट बी गिल्टी. आई थिंक
Yeah.
you encompassed all the emotions that any parent would feel into this one word, don't be guilty. क्या बहुत सारे पेरेंट्स गिल्टी फील करते हैं? आई एम जस्ट रिकन्फर्मिंग, नहीं तो आप बोलती ही नहीं ये वर्ड.
नहीं नहीं बहुत करते हैं. देखो मैं एक सिंपल सा एग्जांपल देती हूँ. You go with your child to a supermarket or to a shopping mall or anything like that. The child throws tantrum. The other parents or other people around look like this. The child is excellent academically, very high or anything. Still the parent will feel guilty. Why is my child doing like this? Oh my god, I'm embarrassed. Right? So imagine a parent who has an autistic kid around and going and throwing a tantrum. First of all, there is something deviated there. People can recognize, and on top of that the parent has to go through this, and people are looking around, and then you are all the more guilty, and you get into what is wrong with my body, why did I give birth to a child like this. They do get into another guilt that comes up in parents is because nowadays both parents are working and they are high on their career and everything, and just the birth of a child and the child turns autistic, and then normally भी हम जब घर के बाहर जाके काम करते हैं we are guilty that we are not able to give time to our child, and autistic children are all the more demanding when it comes to parents time, right? And you're not able to give, you become more guilty there also. My child is going through something and I'm not able to give just in the run for money, that I'm working and I cannot even give up my job or I cannot give up my career. And then it's a loop. You get into guilt. Don't be guilty, and don't be guilty to take some time off your parenting and go take that half an hour mindful walk for yourself to unwind, recharge yourself,
Then
come back to
be
your child.
a better parent.
Exactly. And accept your child then. Come and accept because you have recharged. Don't be guilty of that also, that half an hour walk also, if I'll go, I won't be able to give that time to my child. It is okay. Involve the child in some activity that they like. They sit, they do 30 minutes, give them some activity, rotating activity. There are so many tools that have come up. Simple tool I'm talking about is Poppet, the new Poppet instrument that has come up in the toy range, right? It's a very, very good tool for kids with autism or with any kid to calm themselves, or leave the child with other parent or any other support system. Go take down. Don't be guilty of that. So that is what I would say. Even if your child is throwing a tantrum and even if your child is special, don't be guilty. It is okay. You are blessed. You have a child.
Actually, very beautifully put, Neha ji. Just reiterating your advice. Be accepting as a parent. If you, we anyways should be accepting as parents at the hour, I think. Given the modern day stresses our children find themselves in. But अगर आपका बच्चा ऑटिस्टिक है तो please be accepting. Educate yourself, very important, so that आपको ये पता रहे कि किस तरीके से बच्चे के साथ डील करना है और उसको सपोर्ट करना है अपने माइलस्टोन्स रीच करने के लिए. एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करें, अपना भी और बाकियों का भी, ताकि उससे लर्निंग्स हो.
Yes, peer support is very important.
क्लिनिकल साइकोलॉजिस्ट की गाइडेंस पे चलें, क्लिनिकल साइकोलॉजिस्ट के साथ और चाइल्ड आप क्लोजली
Yes,
बच्चों को बेटर सपोर्ट कर पाएंगे. एंड सबसे जरूरी चीज, सेल्फ केयर जरूर करें और गिल्टी फील ना करें. राइट नेहा जी?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
So I think these are jewels of information which will help many people, hopefully. Thank you for being here and thank you for sharing your tips. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoy this
Thank you.
video, dear viewers. We hope you find this useful. So please do share and like it if you do. Thank you. See you soon again.